In this age of skepticism and materialism, few people care to know their real self, which is divine and immortal. But the knowledge of the true self has always been the principal theme of the philosophy and religion of Vedanta. Even in its most ancient writings, the Upanishads, which form portions of the Vedic scriptures, we find how earnestly self-knowledge, or Atmajnana, was sought after and extolled. The great inspired seers mentioned in these Upanishads discovered and taught that knowledge of the self. The great inspired seers mentioned in these Upanishads discovered and taught that knowledge of the self lies at the root of all knowledge, whether of science, philosophy, or religion. Every sincere seeker after knowledge, therefore, who desires intellectual, moral, or spiritual development must first learn to discriminate between spirit and matter, soul and body, and then realize the all-knowing divine self who is the eternal foundation of the universe. Matter or object is related to spirit or subject, and the subject or spirit is equally related to the object or matter. If there were no object, there would be no subject, and if there were no subject, there would be no object, for on either side alone nothing could be achieved. Kaushitaki Upanishad 3:8. Spirit and matter have always been subjects for discussion in science, philosophy, and religion. The great thinkers of all countries have tried their best to understand the true meanings of these two terms and to establish their mutual relation. The two words have various synonyms, such as ego and non-ego, subject and object, mind and matter. Scientists and philosophers have advanced many theories from time to time to explain their ideas and conceptions about them and have arrived at different conclusions. Some say that spirit or mind or ego is the cause of matter, while others reverse the relation and believe that matter is the cause of spirit or mind or ego. These conclusions have given foundation to the various explanations of the universe, which can be classified under three heads: the spiritualistic or idealistic, the materialistic, and the monistic theories. The spiritualistic or idealistic theory claims that spirit or mind The spiritualistic or idealistic theory claims that spirit or mind is the creator of matter and energy, hence of all material objects, and it denies the existence of matter as distinct and separate from the mode or condition of spirit or mind. The materialistic theory, on the contrary, maintains that matter produces spirit, mind, ego, or subject. There have been many idealistic or spiritualistic philosophers in different countries at different times. In India, Greece, Germany, and England have arisen a number of idealists, like Bishop Berkeley, who have denied the existence of the external world and also of matter as an entity separate from mental ideas. Modern Christian Science, which teaches that there is no such thing as matter but that everything is mind, has been built upon this idealistic doctrine of Bishop Berkeley and other philosophers of the same school. In America, it is new because the nation is new. America has not yet produced any great idealistic philosopher. The materialistic theory of the universe, on the other hand, is maintained by a large majority of the scientists, physicists, chemists, medical practitioners, and the evolutionists of the present time. They try to deduce everything from matter and claim that it is the cause of mind or ego or spirit. Although there thousands and millions of people all over the world who advocate this theory and call themselves materialists, still very few can define the term matter and give a clear idea of what they understand by it. What is matter? Has anybody ever seen matter? This question can be asked of the materialists. Do we see matter? No. We see color. Is color the same as matter? No. It is a quality. Where does it exist? An uneducated man may think that the color of a flower as perceived exists in the flower. But the physiologists explain that the color which is perceived does not exist as such in the flower, but that it is a sensation caused by a certain order of vibrations coming in contact with our consciousness through the medium of the optic nerves. This may seem strange, but it is true. The perception of color is a compound effect produced by vibrations of ether, which entering through the eyes create another set of vibrations in the brain cells, and these vibrations, when translated by the conscious entity, are called sensations. Color, therefore, is the result of the blending of the objective and subjective elements. It is the product of the combination of that which comes from the outside world and that which is given by the subjective or mental activities. Thus, we can understand that color does not rest in the flower, but it depends upon the retina, optic nerves, and brain cells as well, so it cannot be the same as matter. Similarly, we ask, is sound which we hear the same as matter? No. It is the result of a certain kind of vibration plus the conscious activity of the mind. If you go to sleep, the vibration of sound will enter through your ears and be carried through the auditory nerves into the brain cells, but you will not hear it because the percipient mind is not there to translate the vibration into the sensation of sound. Sound, therefore, is not the same as matter. In the same manner, it can be shown that the other senses do not give us any information about that which we call matter. Then we ask, what is matter? John Stuart Mill defines matter as the permanent possibility of sensation, and mind as the permanent possibility of feeling. Are we better off after hearing this definition? On the contrary, it is more confusing. The whole difficulty lies in the word possibility. It means matter is that which permanently makes sensation possible, and mind or spirit is that which permanently makes feeling possible. Or, in other words, matter is that which can be permanently felt or perceived, that which is the object of feeling, and spirit is that which can permanently feel or perceive, that which is the subject of feeling. That which permanently makes sensation possible can never be revealed by the senses, for the senses are no more than open doors for our sensations. All that we can predicate of matter is that it causes sensations. When we try to know its nature, per se, or any particulars concerning it, our senses do not help us. The eyes are only instrumental in perceiving the sensation of color, the ears of sound, nostrils of odor. Our perception of the external world is limited by these sense powers, and all sensations are either direct or indirect results of our sense activities. Although we know that matter is something which exists in space and time and causes various sensations, still we cannot see or touch it. That which corresponds to the name matter will also remain intangible. We may touch a chair, a piece of wood, or gold, but we cannot touch matter by itself. This is very curious. Gold or stone is not matter, but it is that which is produced by matter. Matter appears as wood or stone. It may be interesting to know the history of the term matter. This word is derived from the Latin materies, meaning stuff, and it was originally used in the sense of the solid wood of a tree or a timber for building. Gradually, a generalized concept was formed, which meant anything substantial out of which something other some other thing was fashioned. When a wooden statue was made, the form was distinguished from the substance wood or materies. Here it was still wood, but when a statue was made of stone or metal, it was still called materies. Thus the name materies signified the substance out of which something was shaped or fashioned. Gradually, when the question arose, what was the substance out of which this world was made, the answer was materies, or matter. So, the word matter does not mean any definite thing. It is used for that unknown substance out of which the known objects of perception are formed. Here ends the literal and real meaning of the term. Matter can be used in the sense of any unknown substance which lies at the bottom or foundation of some form or object. For instance, in our ordinary conversation, we use this word in such expressions as, "What is the matter? It does not matter. Important matter. Decaying matter." In science and philosophy, however, matter is that unknown substance out of which all phenomenal forms are fashioned. It is beyond sense perception, yet it underlies all the objects of the universe. It is not the same as space or time, but it fills space, manifests itself in time, and cannot be limited by the category of causality. All these ideas are included in the meaning of the term matter. When we think of that substance of which the universe is the appearance, we imagine that it is vast, immense, marvelous, and possessed of wonderful powers, which are constantly changing. But what is matter? Is it one or many? It is one. We cannot say that it is many. Herbert Spencer says, "Our conception of matter reduced to its simplest shape is that of coexistent positions that offer resistance, as contrasted with our conception of space in which the coexistent positions offer no resistance." Let us understand the difference between space and matter. Space is extension, offering no resistance. But that which offers resistance and lies in space is matter. He also states, of these two inseparable elements, the resistance is primary and the extension is secondary. As, for example, when we touch something, it resists. Then we have an idea of resistance. But when we spread our hand, that feeling of resistance extends also in space. Herbert Spencer says again, "Our experience of force is that out of which the idea of matter is built up. That which opposes our muscular energy is immediately present to consciousness in the terms of force. Hence, forces standing in a certain correlation in space form the whole content of matter. Furthermore," he adds, "matter and motion as we know them are differently conditioned manifestations of force. They are the concretes built up from the contents of various mental relations. In order to feel resistance, there must be present one who feels, and then the force that is felt is the primary cause which gives rise to the conception of matter. Again, matter has not been created by anybody. No one has ever seen, nor can anyone imagine the creation of matter out of nothing or its total annihilation. According to modern science, matter in its true nature is a substance, uncreatable and indestructible. That is, it was neither created out of nothing, nor can it go back into nothing. There are various other definitions of matter. Some physicists say that matter is whatever possesses the property of gravitative attraction. But still, this does not tell us its true nature. We can only say that there is some substance which responds to attractions. Ernst Haeckel, again, defines matter as infinitely extended substance and spirit as all-embracing energy of thought. After studying these various definitions, we learn that matter is that substance of the universe which makes up the objective world, or that which can be perceived by the senses and cognized by the mind. It is always objective, and spirit or mind is always subjective. Always the perceiver or cognizer of matter, the knower of the object. Now we can understand the difference. Spirit is the perceiver and knower, while matter is that which is perceived, sensed, and known. The one is the subject and the other the object. These two exist in relation to each other. The objective world or matter forms only one half, while the other half is the subjective world. Therefore, the materialistic theory, which admits the existence of the object and denies the existence of spirit or mind or the subject, is one-sided and imperfect. It ignores the fact that matter or object can only exist as related to the subject. The materialistic theory is a logical blunder because it is based upon a confusion between object and subject. It asserts that matter is objective, but at the same time it tries to show that it is also the cause of the subject, which can never be. A can never become non-A. Materialism begins with the idea that matter is objective and ends in attempting to prove that this objective something has become the subjective mind, spirit, or ego. It first takes for granted that matter is that which is perceived, or the cause of sensations. Then it gradually claims to show that it produces that which feels the sensations, which is self-contradictory and absurd. As materialism is one-sided and imperfect, so is the spiritualistic or idealistic theory of the world, which denies the existence of matter or object and says that everything is mind. The theory of modern Christian Science, that all is mind and that there is no matter, is as erroneous as the materialistic theory. Spirit or mind or ego, which is always the subject, can exist as perceiver or knower so long as there is an object of perception and of knowledge. If we admit the existence of one, that of the other is implied. Therefore, Goethe was correct in saying, matter cannot exist and be operative without spirit, or spirit without matter. The universal substance appears as possessing these two attributes of subject and object, of spirit, mind, or ego, and matter, or non-ego. They are like the two modes of the one eternal substance, which is unknown and unknowable existence. It was called substantia by Spinoza. Herbert Spencer calls it the unknowable. It is the same as Dinge sich, or the transcendental thing in itself of Kant. Plato named it the good. It is the oversoul of Emerson, while in Vedanta it is called Brahman, the absolute substance of the universe, the infinite and eternal source of matter and mind, of object and subject. This substance is not many but one. All varieties of phenomena have come out of this one source, Brahman, and into it they will be reduced at the time of dissolution. It is the universal energy, the mother or producer of all forces. We know that all forces are related to one another and that they are. This substance is not many but one. All varieties of phenomena have come out of this one source, Brahman, and into it they will be reduced at the time of dissolution. It is the universal energy, the mother or producer of all forces.